And welcome back on my channel. We're back in the studio, and in this video I will present a nice combo which is Roland SH-4d and Roland Verselab MV-1. I combined them together for just because I like the workflow. I tried before use SH-4d with Polygon tracker, but because of pattern change it's a little bit hectic. So I will present how I'm using it now and explain few things that gives people headache basically, which is saving patterns and sounds on SH-4d, because that's the main issue here. I have it for last week and I spent only few hours on it, but it's pretty straightforward. Everything is on the surface except from few hidden things in like on this strip that you can access through shift button. It's pretty straightforward, very easy to use, not very intuitive. It depends. I grasped it like this pretty fast, so I will just explain how I'm using it now and why I'm not using Polygon tracker in this case. So let's go to, for example, we have a pattern. That's my pattern. I'm using audio from input line in on Verselab MV-1 because I will record it later. And for example, if I want to save, shift and save, I have options. I didn't edit anything yet, but I have override, pattern tone, pattern, and part 1 tone, and all of those 5 tones. And people are struggling why you can't save entire pattern, for example. You can, actually you can, but that's my pattern, for example, yes. And I'm going to pattern sound mute. Only this one, for example. That's an organ or something. Going out of sound, that's pattern 1. That's my organ, yes, and I want to change. That's microphone stand in my way. Change filter. And resonance, and maybe, I don't know, release. And I altered it. I want to save it, for example, that I'm going shift in, and I have override. Those 4 are that are altered. So override is just override entire pattern. Pattern and tone is just because pattern stays the same, but tone change. So it will like ask me to save the pattern and tone. Pattern, okay, I can, for example, save this adjustment. Let's do this. I can save this adjustment in pattern 3. Pattern and tone. Let's save it. Enter. Boom. And that's the part 1 tone, the one that I altered. And I want to create new. I could replace the old one with altered version. But I will go with pattern 12 initial tone, harmonic bars, and I will go 2, yeah. And shift A, capital A, normal A, like small a, I don't know how it's called, normal, not normal, and numbers and symbols. So harmonic bars 2, for example. That's a little bit altered version with this filter and release, yes. And now it asks me to save it in a pattern. And I will go 1, 3, for example, exact. Project, not the one. 1, 3. But that's my old name for project, so I could rename it, but I will call it project 1 3. That's just a demonstration. You don't have to do it all. You can just like copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. That's my pattern 3. And I forgot that I muted rest of my tracks on this one. So just to go back to it, toast. And I like this version, for example. Exit, overwrite, and I can just overwrite it now. Everything saved with mutes and everything. So it is easy, you just have to wrap your head around it. And like I said, I try to use Polyend Tracker with it for program changes and use it as a MIDI controller for sequencing and everything else, because this one is to the grid. You can just make an offset of your sounds. Everything is to the grid. So external gear is useful if you want to make like offset, nudge it a little bit backward and forward or what have you. So tracker would be useful for it, but I would have to use just 4 tracks just for tones, 5th track for for drums, or use program changes for drums, because I can set choke groups here and on tracker I can't. So if I wanted to use all of sounds from kit, which is a lot, I would have to use like 2 or 3 tracks in mono just to record my drums. Very limiting in my opinion. Plus SH-4d use channel 16 by default for program changes. So let's go to Verselab MV-1 right now, and I will set it up just to control SH-4d. I have my MIDI clock synced, so there's no tracks on Verselab MV-1 so far, and I will go to system, and I want to set at least 1 track for channel 16. So that's my default. For example, instrument 2 will be channel 16 for program changes. Let's go to 1. That's my latest pattern that I created today. But let's focus on this one. That's mine too. I created it like 2 days ago. So I will create like loop tracks for this, and shift insert instrument 2. I will just set up MIDI in EQ, things that are normal here. Note, CC, okay, PC, whatever, everything on. Clock is already set to 90 BPMs, and I want to record, for example, sequence. So because I have set channel 16 for at least one of instruments, I could switch between patterns on, give me a second, I'm moving camera, I'm moving mic, everything at the same time. So I can change patterns using Verselab, but only up to 16. That's the limitation of this one. In a tracker, I could use, for example, 1 track at MIDI channel 16 and place it somewhere as a program change. There is the option, program change. But the thing is that if you set a program change somewhere in a grid, it will change only after end of pattern. So if pattern has 4 bars, you would have to, it will switch automatically after 4 bars, even if it was triggered after 1 bar. So you can have pattern 1 bar here and 4 bars here, and you will place on tracker or some other devices. Program change here, for example, on step 9, yes. So it will trigger pattern change, but it will change it only after like 2 bars or 4 bars. It depends on the length of the pattern on SH-4d. That's the difference. People can struggling with it. I know, because I notice I'm following those forums and everything else. So it's the best option for me at this moment. I will figure out probably some polyrhythms and everything else. For this moment is create, for example, 1 bar pattern, 16 steps, use it in a looper, and that's my full pattern, for example. Recorded already. That's my loop, perfect loop, perfect BPM. And here maybe I will go to sound and I'll go back to input because I want for you to hear it. For example, this one, I will record it here. Just drums, yeah, just drums and those organs. And here, for example, that will be another pattern. And here will be, for example, I don't know, this one, let's say. That's the basic idea behind it. So I'm just copying one loop, 1 bar loop into Verselab, because I can record up to 63 seconds stereo for project, plus vocal track, which is like 6 minutes stereo and 12 minutes mono, yes, in addition. But I will just create few variations here, like this one, this one. Okay, let's record it here. And maybe on this one I will switch off kick, and what else do I have? Like this one. Maybe this one. I forgot what the cowbell was. Somewhere here. Okay, I will record this one here. Okay, and I can switch line off now, build in, whatever. You can't hear SH-4d right now because I switched. Now you will be able to hear it because I switched off input through Verselab, and it's going from SH-4d directly through mixer now. So you can hear everything now. That's like doubled. But I can switch clock off. And maybe I will leave it at input. I'm a little confusing myself already. But let's switch off sound, which is mixer, and as you see, as long as I have one of the tracks set to channel 16 for program change, I can jump between them. And I can mix them and match them. As long as it's on a pattern page, I can jump between patterns. But I will set for this one, for example, and or maybe. They are all tempo synced, so it's fine. Something chill. I'm doing something wrong because I'm changing pattern. Okay, so let's go back. You get the idea. that's how it works. And I could even create a song out of it, because why not? This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and maybe this one. Yes, each one 2 bars, 2 bars, 3, 2 bars, 2 bars, 2 bars, 2 bars, all of them 2 bars. Just for fun, we have a song, and I can record it in vocal track from input, line input, for example. Or I could input and I could record, for example, even entire mix out to one of my vocal tracks and export it as only as a vocal track, but I will keep it at external wet just for fun. And another thing is that if you're on song mode, you don't have program change from those sections. So if I go back to 16 and go back to not in song mode, in section mode. I'm in section mode 7. That's 2 bars or 4 bars. So you can make a live set out of it, like you have your 5 parts here, you have all of your sections here, and you can play live up to 16, basically 16 patterns. But on song mode is like exclusive, it won't switch. So you have 1, 2 bars. Didn't switch. So that's the thing, that's the difference. When you're in song mode, you can only record your performance. So you have your own set here. I could probably put some, I don't know, in a sequence. I want some drums here, yes. Let's go to drums. I want this snare because it sounds good. Sampling. Huge reverb. So that's my snare, yes. And don't need to edit it much. Normalize, just for sake of it. And I will place it here, don't even have to export it. I could export it for different projects, but I will just exit it. That's my snare. I want to replace this kick. If volume is right, you don't have to do anything basically. Normalize, place it here, done. And we have completely new sequence. We have new kit. If I build my kit from here, I could just edit this kit, not from user kits, from different kits. I like this one, for example. And I can play around with it. And I can record it on vocal track, for example, here. Take from 3 or from 1. That's my take recorded from SH-4d. So I could, for example, make entire track using one loop, one bar loops, mix and match it with some other sounds from Verselab, and at the, on the top of it, like make some leads or whatever I want in addition. Because it's the same pattern, basically it repeats itself, yes. But let's clear this one. Last demonstration. Okay, this one. We will see if it matches, yeah, it's still the same BPM. That's it. That's recorded from SH-4d, and I will just switch off clock so this one won't play. It's chaotic, I don't know, I know that it doesn't sound as it should, but I just demonstrating how it's supposed to work. So that's my workflow for Verselab MV-1 and SH-4d. I will use definitely this one more for sound design, because I cut myself, like I'm just switching it off, tinkering with sound, like creating patterns. Let's go to patterns one, like this one, or this one is more like drony 8-bit. That's my idea behind it. It's only four parts. With some old school drums with huge reverb. So those are two patterns that I created, and I'm still learning, like matrix functions, LFOs, how to link it together, track effects, not track effects, parts effects, global effects, but it's pretty straightforward, I will say. Only thing that make people confused is that you have to save part sounds basically and pattern separately. But that's because probably people confuse it with Groovebox, which is like Groovebox, but mostly is like synthesizer. Multi-timbral, multi-something synthesizer, less than a Groovebox that you can have like full project, and you save everything under one project, like on Verselab MV-1. You have Verselab MV-1, everything saved under project, and you go from there. So you can load the project and you are when you left off, yes. On this one, you just have to, like, if you work with sound, that's fine. You can save just sound, save sequence, but you don't have to. You can just save one sound as I like this sound, but that's my sound that I want to save, and sequence go separately, because I can use this sound for different sequence and then just load it as a preset instead of like entire project. That's the difference. And yeah, you just have to like clear your mind for this one. Yeah, and that will be it for this video. Hope you like it, and see you next time.